Well, hi there, and welcome back to the Cactus Atlas. On our previous episode, we checked out some history in Teton. But today it's all about getting back into nature and seeking some views of those beautiful Tetons. So grab your coffee and hop aboard as we're about to head out. So this is my second day here. I arrived at this campground yesterday and set up tent, slept here last night, and then gonna be here again tonight. And then we hit the road and we actually leave Wyoming, and then we're gonna get closer to home, but we still got a ways to go. I think about a week on this journey. I was gonna get up at sunrise today and go to Schwabacher Landing, see the sunrise there. We did something similar a couple years ago, so something we've already done. First things first, I think I'm gonna go try to get some coffee this morning at the Dornan's, I think is the name of it, up the road near the park entrance to just kind of get started. I'm having a slow morning. This is like my first slow morning in the whole trip. Woke up just not feeling like the oomph and had to lay around a little bit longer, but I'm back, feel good, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So another day on the road. We're knocking them out, like one after another. I mean, this was, I've never done anything like this long in my entire life, so I've done a couple week stints, but not like 3 weeks living in a tent, but doing great.
In a quarter mile, turn left.
We're actually heading to get my coffee now, and I actually ran into someone that recognized me. Doesn't happen often. I know some of you think I'm famous, but I always do my joke, the almost world famous, which is a joke. But yeah, every once in a while someone spots me and says, "Oh, I recognize you in your truck, your beard in the truck." So I guess to the gentleman, I didn't catch his name, unfortunately, but hey, it was nice running into you here. I just talked to you maybe 15 minutes ago, and now I'm heading out. I'm gonna grab me a cup of coffee, hopefully, at this place called Dornan's in Moose, Wyoming, right here in Grand Teton. It's only about 15 minutes away, kind of on the way where we need to go anyway. So we do have to re-enter the park, so we'll probably be stuck in a line for a bit because I started a little bit later. It's the 8 o'clock hour. Most days I have to leave by 8. That's my cutoff time, so I'm not like dreadfully behind, but today was a little different.
Left to stay on Gros Ventre
Wanted to
Campground
do
Road.
something like early morning, but yeah, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I woke up, I laid around and thought about it for a while, but
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Gros Ventre Road.
I think I was just maybe a little dehydrated, maybe. I'm trying to pound some water now. But I'm enjoying the scene out here. It's really pretty out here. Saw an elk, a male with big antlers,
On Gros Ventre Road for 5
roaming
miles.
around on the way back last night near the road out here. You know, the weird irony though with this whole trip is that I thought that I would be like suffering at this point, not able to, you know, having to camp in tents and breaking down camp, setting up camp time and time again. I thought by this point I would just be done with it, to be honest. Although I love camping, I love being in the woods, I love being in the outdoors, as you know. And the opposite I'm finding is actually true. I did book that one room in Virginia City, and I had a pleasant stay, but it was probably my least favorite night of the trip. Had nothing to do with the establishment or the town at all. It was just, I am finding that I am way more comfortable in my tent. Now I have a nice cot. I bought an expensive cot at REI a few years ago. It's gotten months and months of use, and the dang thing is comfortable. It's very firm, so if you don't like firm, you probably wouldn't like it, but I sleep the best sleep I have slept since I can remember on this thing, almost every time, unless there's somebody being noisy and keeping me up, which hasn't been the case. And I just find the tent, it just seems like more of a it's ironic, but like a sterile environment. Like when I'm in a hotel room, I just start thinking about all of the people that have slept in that bed and the things I don't want to think about, you know, the reality of it. And, you know, I don't know. I just find it creepy. So I think we have, let's see, today is Thursday, August the 7th. And I arrive home next Wednesday. So that's 6 days left on this thing. So definitely in the last third leg of this. And I'm amazed at how strong I've been getting through this. I mean, I'm not even trying. It's just naturally I feel, I've been saying this, I said this on another episode at some point, I feel better. Like if you watched videos from me last summer, I did Southern Utah, the Eastern Sierra a couple times, a lot of camp view content gathering on those trips. I was really struggling. I don't know, I was tired, I was mentally not there. I wonder, I don't know if there's any validity to it, but was it, you know, maybe because I had cancer and my body's like, my immune system's working harder or something? I don't know. I didn't even know. I didn't have pain or anything like that, but I was just really not the same person. So it's ironic, you go through something rough like the cancer treatment that I had, and yeah, it's taken months to get to this point for sure. I'm not saying I just snapped a finger and I was back at it, but I feel more energy. I feel better than I did before the whole thing really started, and I don't know what it was. I didn't take good care of myself, certainly, with food. I skipped a lot more meals, and I'm sure that was definitely part of it. Maybe that was what it was. But here we are at Dornan's Moose grocery store. I think Moose is the name of this area, Moose, Wyoming. I think that's why they call it that. Where is it? Which thing is it? Where are you, Dornans? There's several buildings here. They've got fishing shops. I think it's this brown building up here. They got like float trip places here you can book. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Dornan Grill. So I didn't know there was all this stuff back here. They're serving breakfast.
Your destination is on the right.
But we're not doing breakfast today. I'm gonna eat my own breakfast. Alright, I just got myself a fresh cup of coffee. They put a new pot on right when I came in there, and we're all good. We'll come down here and get some views, and I'll tell you how it rates compared to other recent ones we've had. It's a nice little store. I'm coming over here to check this out. This view. A view that never gets old. Oh look, there's the, I think we're on the other side of Menner's Ferry. Yeah, that is. I see the general store, that white building off there. You guys haven't seen that. That was yesterday's episode. That's the Snake River there. There's an old ferry from the probably late 1800s, early 1900s. I actually see the ferry boat back there. So anyway, let's try this coffee. We didn't come here to talk about Menner's Ferry. We're going to talk about coffee. I would say definitely better than the last couple days worth of coffee. It's, you know, lacking in like really punch you in the face strength like I like, but it's got a lot more flavor than the last few. I don't even remember anymore. Got something at Headwaters grocery store or convenience store, and then the day before, I don't even remember. I think 2 days ago was my least favorite of the whole trip. But it's not watery, it's not, you know, I would say this is a good cup of coffee. You'll be satisfied with it. I would have it again. So is it the best cup of coffee I've ever had? No, but it's good. It's good. And that view, hopefully we get more views like that where we're going. although we're gonna see it from a little bit further back. I don't know how large the mountains will look from where we're gonna be or how much tree cover will cover it, but we'll find out. I guess let's head to the truck and I'll explain what the heck we're actually doing on this episode. Alrighty, let's head on out. I put in my GPS coordinates for our starting point. I'm actually not gonna fill up. I've got over 3/4 of a tank and we're not doing that long of a route today. So I can probably fill up afterwards. I'm gonna stop here and get gas before we head back to the campground. Ooh, have another hit of hot coffee. I've been listening to some Quicksilver messenger service on this trip.
Turn left onto Teton Range.
Oh, maybe we're not gonna go through the entrance gate. Maybe this is completely outside of the park after all. I thought to get to our staging spot I'd have to go into the park, but even better. I would rather just avoid it altogether at this point.
191 north, US 26 east.
Anyway, all of these stops here are, I guess they're outside of the park gate, but there's many different stops. I think that might be the one where you can see, it points out what the glaciers are. Let's see. All of which we stopped at the last time I was up here a couple years ago. Teton Point. Oh, that would be the big pointed mountain in the middle of the range. But the Snake River's down below. It's beautiful. Ansel Adams was in this area, and there's this place where you could see where he took photos and kind of line up his shot. So if you want to see that, I did a tour of this stretch of road and stopped at all of those little things and teach you a thing or two. So we'll put a link in the description below to those older Teton videos. I mean, they're not that old, they're a couple of years old, filmed with the same equipment, 4K, just as good a quality as this if you like what I'm doing. So it'll feel fresh, it won't feel dated. The subject matter is evergreen, just like the trees around here. So go check them out after this one. All right, we're heading to the staging point, Forest Road 30290.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Forest Road 302,
is our
USF
where I dropped a pin, a GPS pin here coming up. These folks behind me, man, I got a long line of people behind me. I'm going to speed limit, it's 55, so don't get mad at me. People could have passed if they wanted to. But hopefully now they understand that I'm making a sharp turn right now.
USF's 30,290.
Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, Bridger-Teton. So yeah, we're going to the Bridger-Teton National Forest.
Continue on.
Oh, look at that. There's some
290 for 1.5 miles.
People riding on horseback there. Technically not my GPS point. I dropped a pin kind of at the beginning of the OnX route. So I'm gonna just go officially to the starting point, then we'll get out and I'll walk you through the briefing of what we're gonna do and the expected level of difficulty. So I was kind of curious to see if we could see mountains. You could see the trees are pretty tall. There will be some clearings and stuff, and I'm just more curious about how large they look on the horizon. The big ones are like off that ways, but you can actually see them pretty well. I think this might actually work. Yeah, so we're now in the Bridger-Teton National Forest. So there are some parts of this where I think we are going to swing back into the national park land boundary, like into that land again. So the app I use, OnX, is really handy, not just for routes, but it shows you all the land parcels, who owns what, so you know where you're at. So if you're a drone pilot, for example, you'll know, like, hey, I'm in, this national forest, for example, so I can fly legally, here, but when you're in the national park, you can't fly, for example. So it's really helpful to have that OnX app, not just for, its route capabilities, but I think it's actually even more, I use it more probably to understand who owns the land than anything. Now, of course, I said I was going to tell you the details about the route, and I left my phone in the truck, so I'll describe it as we start the route. But I'll show you this too, because part of why I came out here is the hope, probably the slim hope, the slim chance that we will spot one of these guys. Without the bullet holes in it, of course. All right, let's look at Slim there with that background. He looks handsome today. You look handsome.
Aw, shucks.
And someone recognized you this morning, so I know that got your ego pumped up, because I think they recognized you before they recognized me. All right, let's discuss the plan here, because this one's a little bit more, I mean, it's not hard, but it's a little bit more complex in terms of the number of routes that I've combined to do this. So, and please, 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 like if you're kind of a novice at doing this sort of thing and you see my video and you're like, I can do that, yeah, that's cool. Like, I support that. But please, 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 like, make sure you know where you're going, you know, because there are going to be lots of forks in the road, lots of different forest roads back here, and I guarantee you, I can say this from experience, when you get cocky about it and you don't think you need something, you think you got that map burnt in your mind, and you come to like a fork in the road, sometimes you're going to be as good as flipping a coin and praying that you chose the right one. So the first thing is called Toppings Lake Trail Loop. That's the name of the route. That's what OnX user just named it that. It's not the name of the road. I think the forest road is 30290. We're going to take that, and then we're going to connect up with another forest road, I think. I don't see the name of the road. 30310. Yeah, 30310. And if you're using OnX, that's still the Toppings Lake Trail Loop. Rated a 3 out of 10. Which most would consider easy, except the 30315 portion. It says it gets narrow. Full width vehicles have a chance for pinstripes, it's saying. And there's some pictures, there's some bumpy looking spots back there. This first part is the more complex of them all. Then the next thing is there's another loop that I'm gonna hook up with called Shadow Mountain is the name of the loop, given to by the OnX user, 2 out of 10, considered easy. And that person goes on to say that you probably don't need two-wheel drive unless there's a weather-related reason you need it, and even goes on to suggest that maybe passenger cars can get through and you don't really need clearance. We're gonna find out for ourselves. He's probably right. I find that sometimes they rate them a little higher than they actually are, so we'll see what I think, but I am using four-wheel drive for better traction control, and you know, I've been told that it helps not tear the road up as much. So do I need it technically to get through here? Probably not, right? But it's better. So anyway, let's get this party started, folks. Let's get on this trail, the Toppings Lake Loop Trail, and we're gonna be on that, and I think I'm doing it in the recommended direction because it turns towards the mountains. So if you do it backwards, I think the mountains would be to your back. So I think we're doing it in the recommended direction where we should get the mountain views in front of us as we proceed. Who's ready to see a grizzly bear with me today? I'm not going to really talk about it like I did on my last ones, because I think the more you talk about it, the more the bears run away. But if I don't say anything, maybe we'll see something. But all we've seen on this whole trip up to Glacier is mainly, if I review everything, lots of bison. More bison than I've ever seen in my life. And then I saw an elk yesterday, I was telling you, and then a red fox. And that probably concludes, probably some deer here and there too, obviously, on the drive. I don't get excited about seeing deer anymore. It's like I see so many of them, it's like whatever. So you got a lot of people boondocking out here in their RVs. There is a sign back there that says there are camping restrictions as we get deep in here. I'm guessing I'm sure these are fine. These are probably more my kind of people out here, you know, avoiding the national park campgrounds and stuff. Yeah, I would say already, like, this is probably a no-go for you guys in passenger cars. There's different access points for Shadow Mountain, So when we get there, we'll look, but I mean, these spots are probably few and far between, but I could already see somebody bottoming out on some of that, you know, the humps there if your clearance isn't high enough. So would not recommend this trail for a passenger car. All right, I kind of filmed without talking there for a bit because my GoPro overheated here, but 30315, narrow, rough road, high clearance 4x4. So let's see about this. But this is basically, I think, the point at which the person was saying it gets narrow and difficult. Got ruts right off the bat. Very smooth though. I prefer this over the gravel. It's a nice smooth ride when you have the 2-track like that with nice sandy dirt. But yeah, you could see very kind of off-camber stuff, meaning like you're gonna be tilted to one side sometimes where the left side is higher than the right. Hopefully we don't run into somebody coming the other way, because this is this is what the person was talking about. So I would agree with that guy's assessment, or gal. If you're in a full-size truck like a Chevy Silverado or something big, you're gonna have a really good chance of scratching the sides of your truck. But slim, no problem. Trying to like record in spurts so the GoPro doesn't overheat again, but we're gonna drop into this ditch. Come up the other side there. There's like a little mini creek. No problem for Slim. That's why I like Slim, my truck. It's partially why I named him Slim. It's Slim. It's not a full-size truck, so I can squeeze through spots like this. No problem, but yeah, look at that. Yeah, you got more off-camber. Nothing major. You're not gonna tip, I don't think you're gonna tip your truck over, but you definitely feel gravity though, pulling you to the side here. To somebody new at this, you might start to feel a little worried, but you don't really have to worry too much. Just go slow. Probably a decent case to air down your tires back here too. Let's see, here's why I'm saying like you need to have maps, right? Like which way to go. Like if you didn't know where you're going, what would you do here? You probably would be inclined to say, well, going straight looks more like the actual road. That would be, says the road's closed actually, the one going straight. So either it's closed up ahead or not, but we actually want to go left. Yeah, I would say a 3 out of 10 is a good score for this. For me, for what I would consider, I might even say a 4 for some. A lot of it's relative to what you're driving. Like some people I don't think realize that. Like if you're on a side-by-side or something, this might be a lot easier, but when you're in here in a truck, especially a full-size truck, you have a lot more maneuvering to do if you don't want to scratch up your truck. So some people, you know, the machismo types, oh, what are you talking about, sissy boy? It's easy. It's not about, you know, it's not difficult, but it's, you know, I think everybody has a different experience. Everybody's got a different type of vehicle and different wants, desires of how they want to get out of here. Some people may not want to scratch their truck up. So, you know, when you combine all those factors and you put it into a rating, it is subjective, but this is one of the rougher roads I've done in a long time. I decided to pull over really quick to give the GoPro some time to cool off, especially the one on the inside. The one on the top's fine because it has airflow. But I'm gonna wander around these woods for a second, not go in deep. But this is basically bear spray if you've never seen it before. Don't just buy it and feel safe. Buy it and know how to use it and be prepared and ready, you know, to use it. And you probably never will. You likely never will even see a bear anyway. And when you got a loud mouth like mine, I guarantee those bears are long gone when they hear my loud mouth coming. But this is a good place to pull over. This road is really, didn't have any spots. It's really narrow, but it's already, that may have been the worst section. I think it was kind of a short-lived thing, but we are in the middle of the Bridger-Teton National Forest. There's no point to fly the drone here. I could get it up over the road, but I'm gonna wait till we see mountains, hopefully. But I'm prepared. But these are the moments where you're out here in that habitat, and what I love is just knowing that and being alone. Back to that loner thing, I guess, these moments. To me, it's the best way to experience it. I don't know why. Something that it's hard to find day to day. And I just sometimes like to stop in these moments, and even though there's really nothing much to see other than trees and dense forest cover, it's more not, to me, it's not so much about the views from in here as it is just kind of taking a step out, smelling the air, the fresh air, and knowing that you're alone with nature. All right, I actually have to change an SD card. One of my GoPros, I use pretty big SD card space, so it takes like a week or so to fill one up. But I'm actually got less than 5 minutes left on one, the one that I talked to. So I need to get in the truck, switch that out, and then we will be on our way down this road, which is now widened up a lot. We'll see if it gets narrow again like it was, but so far, so good. Let's kind of get a sense of where we're at in terms of the overall route. We're making some progress. A little bit of progress. I mean, we're gonna be on this first route before we get to the Shadow Mountain portion for a while, but we'll see. Still hoping we see something cross the road. That would be the best case scenario for me as a grizzly, is kind of just casually walking by right in front of the truck. Maybe if I'm in the truck and it's not a bad one, I wouldn't mind it being pretty close. I ain't getting out of the car if that happened. And if it approached the truck, sorry, I always say car, I mean truck. You know I do. But I guess I would try honking first to scare it away, and if not, if it got too curious, I guess I'd roll the window down a little bit and stick the bear spray out and give it a squirt. But that would be my ideal scenario, I think, to see it safely, is like from inside the vehicle and catch one that's just kind of lazily walking, you know, from point A to point B, doesn't really get freaked out, but also doesn't mean any harm. Oh, you could see Teton from here. Oh, and I think there's actually a spot to pull over. I think I found our little vantage point I've been looking for, folks, here in the National Forest. You got spectacular views of the mountains. Even sitting here, it looks cool, but the trees are kind of blocking the view. If only we could just get a little bit above the trees. There's actually a horse train up there too. Let me scope this out. I wonder if those people on the horses are coming here or if there's a different trail that they're on. So not only do we have some views of the mountains, which I was hoping for, you got this meadow down there too, which could be an excellent place to spot wildlife at times, I imagine. But yeah, there's Teton and the Grand Tetons, kind of hidden behind the tops of the trees a little bit, but I'll zoom in. Can you see it? Well, I have one way I think we can try to see it a little bit better. And I just double checked OnX. I'm still in the National Forest. We're not in the National Park. I repeat, we are not in the National Park. Everybody should know the phrase finger licking good. You know, you eat some delicious fried chicken or something, you're that, and for droning, this is finger licking good. Right here, this spot. It's finger licking good, y'all. Finger licking good, y'all. Finger licking, Finger licking, Anyway, sorry. I'm being goofy now because that got me all excited. And that coffee's hitting. That caffeine is hitting now. Someone actually drove by while I was up here and they were in a, I didn't really look carefully. It was like kind of a Subaru-ish, you know, one of those Forester type things. So clearly they made it up that road, that tough spot, no problem. Man, that was awesome. I think we're now gonna have more views of that, by the way. This is the part of the road and why I think they recommend doing this direction, or else that would all be to your back. So I think coming down out of here, the guy was saying that we should have more views of the mountains, and I'm gonna be trying to get more shots like that with the drone as we proceed. I think Shadow Mountain comes a little bit closer, but you gotta be careful because I do see the national park boundary on my map right now. Oh, this looks amazing over here. I see exactly where the road's gonna go, and we're gonna go around a curve, and I bet you it's pointed straight at Teton. The biggin, as I call it. There's a ranch called Triangle X Ranch. Kind of up to the right, and that looks like it's on national park land. We're not far from actually leaving the forest here and getting back into the national park. I'd say maybe a quarter of a mile, and we're gonna be temporarily in the national park. I'll tell you when. But I'm wondering, looking at the elevation, if we're gonna come out of this forest at that point, and even if I'm not airborne, if I could still use other cameras to zoom in and get some cool shots if it opens up. So we'll see. We will see. More dispersed camping over here. Oh yeah, they have got a lot of dispersed camping spots out here. Fire rings, they have a bear locker. So that's one thing, I guess, if you're looking for free camping out here in some really nice spots or some more good views. back here, I mean, that's really what I want to do eventually. Like the next time I come up here, I don't think I'm staying in developed campgrounds anymore. I'm ready to move away and out here to enjoy myself a little bit more. Just once I get all the camp view work done, there's really not as much incentive to stay in developed campgrounds, although it's nice once in a while to have running water, but not all campgrounds I stay even have that. Most of them are vault toilets anyway, so there's a whole armada of RVs and, well, trailers, big trailers back here. It's like almost like an RV park. And you can see the break in the trees. Like this area here, there's a lot of RVs and, well, trailers. And those views of the mountains right there, that's awesome. That's a great spot. Those people know how to do it right. Another really good example of something that could trip you up if you didn't have a map. It's gonna make a sharp turn, then it's gonna actually go parallel with the main route out there soon. But this is 30333 is the name of this route. It says no RVs allowed back here, so I guess we're about to have another rough patch, it looks like. Oh yeah, so I would say here's a good use case for four-wheel drive. So I would say this section of road, I wouldn't recommend this for passenger vehicles so far. And when I say that, it's not technically possible, right? I'm not saying you always got to have that one person, well, I could do it in my 1967 blah, 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 blah. That's not, my point is not saying, you know, things are not possible or impossible. It's just not recommended, I would say. And now let's just shut up for a second, because look at this. Let's see if we're in the national park yet, because if not, I might take advantage. We're not in yet, technically. Then there's someone camping here, so I don't want to bother them. I guess we'll enjoy this from the vehicle, these views, but this is called Lost Creek Road at this point. Or Lost Creek Ranch Road is what the name of this section is here. Yeah, we're now officially in the national park, so we've crossed over. So I am now not allowed to get my drone up, which sucks, because this is exactly the mountains look much bigger now than they did back there. But I think I see a little pull out up there, so we're gonna pull over at the very least, and I can zoom in with my cameras from ground level. But the view here, even from foot level, is second to none. In fact, I really like this because you have that tree line in front of the mountains there. It adds some interest to the shots you might get. But yeah, the mountains look much bigger since we've gotten much closer to them at this point. I would say this area is among some of the best vantage points you can get of these mountains. Probably just as good as whatever that route was, 26. I forget already, the paved one that we took to get here. We're kind of running parallel to it anyway. But the difference is there's no crowds. Like you pull over at those overlooks and you're probably contending with 10 to 15 carloads of people at a given time. Out here, it's all yours. Before we face those mountains, thought we'd look off this direction. It's kind of, this morning you could see a lot of cars on that route. Whatever, I want to say 26, I could be wrong. I see the Snake River But that's that route that had a lot of pull-offs, but we went that way. And then we hooked up and went deep into the forest land and then kind of emerged out on national park land. And we're soon to go back into the national forest, so don't worry. Probably will have another opportunity or 2 or 3 to get the drone up again. Although it's pretty windy, but not windy enough to deter me. And those views never get old to me. Like every turn of the corner gives you something slightly different. See what I'm talking about? I mean, like you want Teton without the crowds. You gotta do stuff like this. Probably any national park. Do the research around the surrounding area and you'll find awesome spots like this. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna turn right instead of left. And we're gonna end up here at the same spot at the end. It's a loop, so we'll come out here regardless and we'll head back at the main road, get to the end of our route. I don't know, like, if this is just gonna go around this mountain here or if we're gonna get up in there too. I could study the map and figure that out, but I'm gonna let it be a surprise. All right, here's the split where we could either go right or left. Yep, and we're gonna go right through that gate here onto some 2-track down there, which is hopefully smoother than this really pebbly, gravelly stuff we're driving on. I see a lot of dirt, so. We are feet away from being inside the national forest and not in the national park boundary. We're going over the border right now as I speak. So right the next chance I get to find a safe place to pull over, I'm gonna. I think I may have found the perfect spot that I was dreaming of for doing this actually today. And we're much closer to the mountains now than we were deeper in the forest. Even though that flight was beautiful, I think this one's gonna be the best one of the trip. Well, hopefully that looks as good as I think it's gonna look. I did try some digital zoom a little bit there, so either it'll look good. I didn't zoom in all the way, but maybe halfway. See if that's a compromise as a test, but if it, worst case, it looks a little low res, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Best case, it looks awesome. It's probably something in the middle. We're basically heading straight back towards Gros Ventre. That mountain there, I think, is like, or those hills in front of us, or one of those is basically on the other side. And actually Mormon Row, I'm pretty sure, is gonna be, if you see that big bump, that protuberance in front of us, that mountain, and you follow it to the right a little bit, I actually think I see houses out there. That should be Mormon Row. In fact, I don't think there's a way to connect this road with going back. Maybe there is, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that instead of doing this whole Shadow Mountain route. The reason why, I think the road's just gonna be deep woods once we start circling around. Probably little chance of seeing any kind of wildlife. So maybe we actually change our route up and not do the whole Shadow Mountain route. Because I got what I came for. I was searching for the spot to do what I did. I don't think it's gonna get, I know it's not gonna get any better than that. That might be, what I just did right there might be the ultimate spot to do what I did. So I'm officially off the Shadow Mountain route now, and we're about to hit what looks like pavement. We'll see. I need to get this out of four-wheel drive if that's the case. This should be taking us almost directly back to the campground, actually. I like this actually for my route way better than what I was gonna do. This is really convenient and still fun. Oh yeah. So Schwabacher Landing, if you're familiar with that, is pretty much where we draw out a line to the right. It would be out that way. We're about like right on it at this point. I think I could continue going straight that way, or I can cut this way. And we're heading right at Mormon Row. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can actually see the famous barn, the Molten Barn, I think is what it's called, LT Molten or something like that. So we're actually heading, if you remember, if you've seen the last episode, we're gonna hook up with another gravel road, go left, drive right by Mormon Row, the iconic Mormon Row. And that goes literally out to the front doorstep of my campground, basically. So. Our turn. That was sweet. I mean, that's like a direct route back here. That's awesome. Just in a couple minutes, I'm gonna be back. I'm thinking about what to do next, and it just might be taking the rest of the afternoon for myself and just hanging out here at the campground and just chilling out. Maybe even taking a nap. I think my body's starting to say, hey man, we need to take a break today, because we still have, like I said, what, 6 days left, or 5 days after today? Another week? Hi, Gros Ventre Campground, I like you. Now that was one tidy little adventure drive, I thought. It's the way it should be. Probably have a little time before new neighbors show up, if at all. I don't know. I haven't been nosy to see if there's reserve signs. Almost certainly reserved. That doesn't mean people are gonna show up though, because I find in a lot of these campgrounds they'll have no shows and sites going unutilized, which sucks unless it's the site next to mine. Then it's all good. If, like last night, each site was just one single dude in each one, and they were both really quiet. They very much kept to themselves. So hopefully that's a repeat of that. Ah, home sweet home. Let's catch up outside the truck. Happy to see everything is as I left it here at the campground. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but it's nice to confirm it for myself. Well, my friends, I'm gonna just take advantage of this nice kind of overcast, nice breeze. It's warm but cool at the same time kind of thing. I'm probably gonna be sitting in that chair, following the shade around as the sun moves around and the trees cast their shade in various directions. Maybe nap. I've hit my limit for the day, but I think that was a good over half day adventure. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me again on another day of my northern tour for Camp View here on the Cactus Atlas. I had a blast, love the impromptu nature of it, and I can't wait to check out that drone footage. So hopefully it's all what I think it is. So tune in next week, because I'm leaving here tomorrow morning. We're actually leaving Wyoming, if you can believe that, leaving what I consider the north and heading now more into familiar territory. Gonna be heading into Idaho next, staying in another one of Idaho's fabulous state parks, and then from there into Nevada, and then from there home to Arizona. We're making it. We're getting closer day by day. Anyway, thanks for joining me. See you on the next one.